Okay, class, let's take a look. Basically, today we start the new part, the study of the wisdom. Okay. Well, if you can remember, actually, before we start the study of wisdom, we finished the study of precept and the study of the concentration. So basically, to the study of the concentration, in the previous lesson, we talked about 7 dependable concentration, meaning to say that in order to let the wisdom up unfolded, okay, we can use 7 types of a concentration, which is the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, and the first 3 formless concentration. Okay, and yeah, so it is totally 7. Okay, so we stop here in the previous lesson. So class, basically this type of skills which involve the jhana is still, I mean, you can find it in Thailand and Myanmar. Now in Chinese, I think Chinese got already. You can learn even in Malaysia. Okay, so now we start the new part. Okay, the study of wisdom. Yeah, Yung Sin, can you please read the passage?
The study of superior wisdom is right understanding that transcends this world. The truth of the ways comprises the 3 studies and the Eightfold Right Path. The study of the precepts and the study of meditation have been explained. Now the study of wisdom will be discussed. This is the right understanding about the Eightfold Right Path. Superior wisdom, a right understanding that transcends this world, is the cultivation of wisdom as the basis for liberation. Of course, this is not worldly knowledge or worldly understanding. It is world transcending. It surpasses the ordinary world. It is the knowledge that there is good and evil, that there are karmic results, and that there are past and future lives, and there are ordinary people and sages. All this is the Buddhist right understanding of the world. The Sanskrit word for wisdom is prana. Among all the virtues cultivated in the Buddha Dharma, prana is the ultimate virtue. Having prana can be described as having reached home, because the realization of the truth and the great event of being liberated from birth and death have been accomplished. The great door of the city of Nirvana has been opened. Without prana, none of the doctrines can liberate one from birth and death. Prana is almost the most fundamental virtue. Being the leader, prana guides all the meritorious practices and is in accordance with all virtues. As a basis for liberation, wisdom is the third of the 3 studies, but in the Eightfold Right Path, it is listed first. This is why the involvement of prana extends throughout the Buddha Dharma from beginning to end. It both leads and finishes. In the Sutra of the Dharma common to the 3 vehicles, wisdom is given many other names: view, understanding, contemplation, patience, knowledge, enlightenment. Right contemplation, right understanding, right knowledge, right thoughts, true contemplation, true knowledge, true understanding, true knowledge and understanding, true thoughts, that which discern the Dharma, and so forth.
Okay, thank you so much, Yung Sin. We pronounce these words as a prajna. Prajna. So the nya is exactly same with the baba nyonya. That's why once it translate to Mandarin, Chinese, we have to use the Hakka to pronounce, because Hakka we got the words of the nya, right? Baba nyonya, Hakka got Mandarin they don't got, so they cannot pronounce correctly. And then Cantonese also don't got. How about Hokkien? Does Hokkien got nya, the sounds nya, no? Hokkien got or not? Baba nyonya. Does these words appear in Hokkien? No. So meaning to say only Hakka is available. So sometimes we have to pronounce in Hakka to get a better understanding. Okay, class, please highlight the point. Okay, some more here. A thumb up, please, once you finish. Okay, class, take a look. Once we talk about the study of the wisdom, basically we define as the right understanding. But here, once we talk about the wisdom, basically this is the wisdom which is supramande. Okay, in Buddhism, we got two types of the knowledge, two types of the wisdom. One is the mande, second is the supramande. What does it mean, mande? Mande meaning to say that okay, there's a difference between good and bad. There's a karma effect from good and bad, and there's a tree life, and there's a difference between the sage and the mandate people. So this is all we call it as a right view, but they are more on mandate right view. Mandate right view is quite necessary because if you don't see the difference between good and bad, and you don't believe there is a karma consequences, there might be a chaotic. The whole world will turn out become chaotic. All right, and then by understanding there's a tree life, okay, basically we can accept the inequality happening in the world. Of course, we should. You should take some initiative to correct it if it is man-made mistake. After you put some effort but the inequality is still there so you can accept it by understanding a past life karma then you will accept it easily, you see. So the last one, regardless the sage and the mandate people, this is important to to draw. We can set a target for ourselves because why the purpose we come here to do the cultivation. The reason is we understand sage the level of the sage is somewhere for us to achieve, and once we attain become the sage, we get the peace forever. Because now the joy we get they are all subject to change. See or not? So this is a perception we call it as mandate wisdom. Mandate wisdom basically is something to make us try to different between the Buddhist and the non-Buddhist. Basically, the Buddhists if they after educated, if they are educated, they will see the things always with the mandate. Mandate right view, and they will feel they will be balanced almost all the time with this type of mandate right view. But now we talk about is the supramandate. It's a little bit extraordinary. So the supramandate meaning to say that this is the right view will lead us to nibbana in a simple way. So let's take a look. We have a different name to name it, you see. Here is the name, you see. View, sometimes understanding, contemplation, enlightenment, all this. Okay. So in Sanskrit, besides the prajna, we also got something we call as a jnana. So class, this is the jnana. Class, please write down. This is the panya, the prashnya, you see. So this is the words appeared just now. But because sometimes we will name it as a jnana also. Jnana actually is the more mature wisdom. I don't see it. So maybe let's see. It will not be proper demonstrated. Let's check this. So you don't see it. Okay, never mind. I couldn't get it. Sometimes like that. Don't know why I can hardly get it. So there is a word we call it as a jnana. So jnana also is the wisdom. Okay, jnana also is a wisdom. So this is important to let you have to know it. Basically, the language really matters once we learn the Buddhism. You see, we call it basically in Mandarin. If let's say, 你做嘢好扮拉 I mean in Buddhism we will call it, oh 你好有智慧 so basically we will describe people 你好有智慧 actually basically 智慧智慧 in what like Hokkien 智慧 actually the 慧 is the immature wisdom, but the D is the mature wisdom. Both are different actually. But in Mandarin, we seldom use single words. Look at D, look at hui. We never say it this way. We will say, look jinjia di hui, look di hui. We will say it this way. Just now I'm speaking Hokkien, do you know or not? You know, so my Hokkien pass, SJ, pass, no problem. Yeah. Recently I learned the Hokkien because I watched the bibliography of Hai Mang in Hokkien from Taiwan production. I want to learn new things because I know Sanskrit sometimes it's quite related to the Hokkien. So I have to learn more language. Okay. So you see, so that's why if let's say you directly learn the Sanskrit or Pali, you will get a more better understanding than for those who learn from Mandarin. Sometimes language does matter. I think it happened in English. Right now, Elena, Mr. Leong, it does happen. It does happen. Okay, so let's see. Okay, not this. Okay, basically, for the wisdom, if let's say we are in the 3 study, this is the last one. Because from Sila, we go to the concentration, and then we go to the wisdom. But for Noble Eightfold Path, we begin with what? Number 1, we begin with the wisdom. So sometimes the ranking is different, but this is the most important thing. Because for the precept, so class can ask you, do you see any value of the dana if you compare Muslim, Christian, Buddhism? God or not? Dana. God lah. Dana, God. How about the precept? God or not? 5 precept. Value God lah. You heard about the precept. How about the samadhi? Concentration, meditation. Have you ever seen the Christian or the Muslim do the concentration? No, right? Okay, how about yoga and Buddhism? Concentration? Yes. Okay, but for the wisdom, it is very unique for Buddhism only. It's very unique. For Taoism and yoga, they don't have yogaism. They don't have. For the wisdom part. Okay. Okay. So from here, okay, we go further. Verse number 94. Yeah, Amanda, can you please read the passage?
The Buddha told Ananda that the meaning of dependent origination is profound. When this exists, that exists. When this arises, that arises. Everything is impermanent and has no self, having only worldly conventional existence. The world-transcending doctrine of liberation comprises the four truths and dependent origination. The wisdom that transcends this world thoroughly understands both. What follows is a discussion of the right understanding of dependent origination. The Eightfold Right Path, right understanding of dependent origination.
Further, please.
The Eightfold Right Path, right understanding of dependent origination. To an ordinary person, the doctrine of dependent origination is simply an explanation of the afflictions that bring about karma and its fruition, suffering, and it explains only the continuity of birth and death. Even some discerning Buddhist scholars have similar ideas, but this is a worldly understanding of dependent origination. How can that liberate one from birth and death? Another once represented dependent origination as easy to understand. The Buddha said to Ananda, the true meaning of all things arise interdependently is very profound. Indeed, dependent origination is profound like the ocean. It is not easy to fathom its depth. After the Buddha realized dependent origination under the Bodhi tree, no divine beings such as the Jade Emperor or devils or Brahmas could understand it, let alone humans. Dependent origination is the fundamental root of the Buddha Dharma's transcendence and superiority. Naturally, it is profound, extremely profound, difficult to understand, extremely difficult to understand. Consider, for example, the mutual production of the cause and effect of the 12 links, which explains the limitless continuation of birth and death. Upon examination, it is clear that sentient beings always undergo births and deaths and transmigrate because of the 12 links. As long as they are sentient beings attached to birth and death, they cannot escape. The 12 links are both certain and universal, with firm belief and grasp of cause and effect and of the natural law common to all sentient beings. One can attain an initial understanding of dependent origination, but one has to go further and realize its more profound meaning.
Okay, thank you so much. Class, I don't know whether you realize or not. Now we talk about the dependent origination. Have we discussed it before?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Meaning to say this is the second time, you see. So meaning to say that dependent origination is so important. It is emphasized twice. So the first time is in Four Noble Truths. Remember how? So in Four Noble Truths, and then especially I've been because the Four Noble Truths, we got the mandate, cause and effect. One is a supra mandate, cause and effect. Once there's a supra mandate, cause and effect. Once again, no. I think we mentioned it it's in the mandate. Okay, 苦集灭道. I think it's in the Tao. It's in the supra mandate. So we mentioned once. Now it's the second time again. So class, can you please do me a work that please copy down. If you can remember, please try to write down the 12 elements, including the time. Okay, let's see. Including the times. Okay, if you cannot remember, please copy down again. In somewhere. Okay. Once you finish, please thumb up, please. Yeah, Tama, please once you finish. Okay. One people finish. Mrs. Leong finish. 2 people finish. Sometimes in Chinese Buddhism, they will deem it as Hinayana, so they refuse to learn it. So there is a misunderstanding. Basically, Mahayana, the foundation of Mahayana is building on the Sravaka. So the 12 link condition is very important actually. 2 people finish, 3 people finish. Okay, everybody finish. Okay. Okay, class. Please highlight the point. Okay, class, take a look. Here they got some important principle in 12 link condition. You see, number 1 is when this exists, that exists. When this arises, that arises. Okay, the meaning is like this. Let's see. You see, once there is ignorance, once this arises, that arises, the mental formation arises. When mental formation arises, then consciousness arises. So that is the meaning. Okay. I don't know, does it sound awkward to you? But that is the meaning here. This exists and that exists. When this arises, then that arises. Okay. So this is the word transcending doctrine. A word transcending means the supramandate lah. A word transcending. Okay. Basically, once we say word transcending, here the word, it doesn't mean the whole world. It means your 5 aggregate. You try to, you try to transcending your 5 aggregate, your body, your 5 aggregate. Then next, let's take a look. The Eightfold Right Pathway C, they say, is the explanation of the affliction, then bring about karma and its friction. Okay, class, let's see. So this is the karma and this is the friction, you see. So this is the karma, you see. A mental formation, then the friction will be the consciousness. You see, mental formation is the past causes. Okay, so the past causes it could be it could be in sensual. Okay, it could be in the form, or it could be formless. Form and formless, basically, they are the jhana. Okay, if they are in the sensual realm, basically, it could be the favorable consciousness and the or unfavorable consciousness. Okay, if it's an unfavorable consciousness, meaning to say that it would be the greedy, anger, and stupidity. If this is the favorable consciousness, meaning to say that this is the good deeds how we practice. It could be the holding precept, do the dana, all this type of stuff. Okay, but what's also, there will be some consequence, you see. If let's say you practice the jhana, form of formless very well, so next life, there will become the consequence in the next life. So karma, the effect will be in next life. So this life, you see, all of us, we are the human. So meaning to say in our previous life, basically, either we do the dana, or maybe more exactly, either we hold the precept very well, okay, hold the five precept very well, and it might be one of the precept is very prominent, okay, the karma effect. Or maybe we're listening to the dharma, or maybe we are contributing to the society or the temple or what, and preaching, maybe you do the preaching, and maybe you try to correct or your misunderstanding. Okay, if you used to do one of it, the moment you pass away, so it will come up. So this one of them will lead you to become a human. But we don't know which one are we. So you have to check it out. Once you attain to the jhana, your meditation master will guide you to check which one karma is your cause to make you become a human. Okay, but basically, most of us here, we look normal, right? But it could be somebody is not normal. How do we know we are not normal? If let's say you go to meditate, you cannot attain to the jhana or attain to the nibbana, meaning to say you are the abnormal among the normal. We call it as you are double cost. So if you can attain all smoothly, you are the triple cost. We call it as a triple cost. Okay, meaning to say that in your past life, if let's say once you do the dana, you regret before and after. One example, you regret before and after. Then it will come out with the consciousness, which is lack of the wisdom. You got a non-greedy, you got a non-hatred, but you lack of the wisdom. So finally, the outcome is you become double cause, dual cause, and then end up, no matter how hard you meditate, you cannot, there's no achievement for you. Okay, if let's say if let's say we are, we come as a human and reborn as a without non-cause, basically you wouldn't be here. You will be kept in the mental retarded center, OKU, the disability, or maybe you will be possessed both of the sexual organ or non-sexual organ. So this type of people, they are all is categorized of what? One of the 8 obstacles for learning the Buddhism. Blind, dumb, deaf, they are all categorized in this group. So meaning to say that actually human realm is the most complicated realm, because within here we are able to see the non-cause people, totally no good people. We can see the double one, and we can see the triple one. Hey, not triple A size battery, no. This is Abhidhamma. So I share it because make it more interesting. So we call it as a triple cause, or triple cause, or double cause. Okay. There's no monocause, just zero cause, double cause, and the triple cause. Okay. So for the zero cause, you think what is the significance for the zero cause people living in the world? Kamling, what do you think, Kamling? What is the purpose of mental retarded, deaf, dumb? What is the significance of the existence in the world, you think?
In past life, they don't bother about people, no good merits, or just live as a no purpose. maybe no purpose in life at all. Eat, sleep, grow.
Actually,
Is
it got, no, actually it got some purpose. SJ, what do you think? You think what is the purpose you can see from this group of people? Are you able to see it?
To make you more aware, alert yourself to do good.
Yeah. One is it, second, they are the cause for the compassion. Class, basically, we are able to do the dana, especially it's in the human realm, because the existence of them, you see. Basically, I mean, the organization, the welfare organization, consisted by some of them exists. Besides, of course, some is old folk house, some is orphanage, but the rest are mostly also from this type of group. If let's say we are reborn in the Deva, there's no opportunity for us to do the good deed, because everybody is good, The Deva and the above, you see, they are all so good. If you really vow to become a bodhisattva, human is the best realm for you. So you can see them, so at the same time you can create the compassionate. Basically, next to kin is the one easiest for us to raise the compassionate. Okay, so sometimes we very admire especially the relative of Elena Benju, she organized the old folk house. It's not that easy. Sometimes you take care with your parents, you also feel very tired. Now you're taking care with other people, you see. But if you have the compassionate, then you'll be very good for you to keep on accrue the merit of the compassion. But we need the training. Because if let's say you want to become a bodhisattva, but if you reborn in the animal realm, it's not that easy. Animal, I talk to human also, human cannot understand. How can the animal understand, right? So sometimes we need the animal, we do the liberation, we do the chanting. We think they can understand. The total, also the birth, they just stare at you only they won't understand. But we need them to make the process complete. They are part of the process, so we liberate them. Okay, so we have compassion. So sometimes when we make a vow, we hope the peace and what. Does it really take effects? Not really, actually. But we need this to create from ourselves. Everything begins from ourselves. But if you got the jhana, you try to to expand it, that will be effective. Especially some invisible being, they can feel your compassion. So that's why they got some story that there's one meditation master, he stay in the jungle under the tree, So he want to live, but they got some deva, and the gods stay nearby there. They come to refrain him from living. They say, you come here, you spread the metta bhavana. Previously, we are always fighting, so we stop fighting due to your metta bhavana, the power. If you live, then we start fighting again. So can you please don't live? So finally, the master decide not live. So the place become peace again. So you see, sometimes we are unable to see. But if you got the jhana, you spread the metta bhavana, the compassion, there is effect. Okay. So this is something regards in the human realm. Please copy down the terminology, because in the 2 p.m. 2 to 3:30 class, we are about to finish already the way to Buddhahood. So we proceed to Abhidhamma. Okay, you can join. Okay, let me check for you the English words. Okay, maybe use Pali.
Can ask just now I thought you asked why they born this world retarded or like that. That's why I don't know. What is the cause that they have done?
Not the cause. What's the significance for their existence?
Significant. Okay.
The significance of say. Hetu, ahetuka, consciousness. Okay, hetu is the cause. So class, you just write hetu or the cause. So it could be zero cause, It could be double course and it could be triple course. Okay. I think most of you are triple course, triple A size. So if your first dose, second dose are Sinovac, third dose also Sinovac, so you are triple S. If your first, second, third dose are AstraZeneca, so it would be triple A vaccination. So you're able to see it on the course, the head to. Okay, next, so we proceed here. Amanda, you got a question to ask? Yes,
Yeah.
please. Amanda.
So you said the zero cost people that exist in this world is because the cost for compassion. Then what about those with 2 causes and 3 causes?
Oh, okay. I mean, actually, for us, we are the normal people. Their existence is the opportunity for us to create our compassion. But for them, they are the vipaka, they are the resultant. They can't do much thing. For example, if they are mental retarded, they're just in the mental retarded house only. They can't do anything. They can't differentiate anything they don't know. So for them, it's just a time for them to finish their karma. No. The significance is for us, It's not for themselves. Okay. But for second and the third one, is you and I. Human is the best tool for cultivation. For the second and the third one. So we use the body as a human to do cultivation. Because in order to become the human is very tough, So the analogy is the tortoise sink down at the deep ocean, the tortoise come out, the heat coincidentally to go through, there's a one hole in the plank, come out. So it's very tough, and human is the one, the best for Buddhahood attainment. So that is our opportunity. That is the significance for us.
Okay.
So Amanda, you don't know why you become a human. No mind. Because sometimes will make us think other because we want to talk about I had to come out. So sometimes we'll bring back to the as a human. Why I want to become human also don't forget already. It's the best is to create the karma. Because in Nikaya they got one phrase is say 三世诸佛 I mean Buddhas from 3 period, all from human. None from Deva, none from Rupa Jana, all from human. So that's why, including the example from, Shakyamuni. Shakyamuni, he have to, the Prince Siddhartha have to reborn as a human, become Buddhahood, become Buddha, and then later is the what? Is the Maitreya. Maitreya have to come back again in the human, and then from here further become Buddhahood. Of course, you want to become Arahant, also human is the best. But if let's say you want to practice the jhana, I stayed with a Sayadaw before, he more recommend me to stay in the Rupa realm, the form as a Deva. I think I agree. I noticed that this body sometimes we cross our leg, very pain, right? I have a kidney jhana, very pain, and here pain, and that pain, a lot of spectacle, sometimes a lot of sickness. I think for jhana attainment, as a deva is better than as a human, right? Not okay, but that is not our purpose. This is one of the destination. Finally, we must use it as a tool. Once we become a deva, agree? This props our hand. You found that the human body do the meditation very tough. Anyone? Agree. You see, everybody agree nearly. Okay, so maybe so plus that's why you have to make vow that you are going to meet the Buddhist teacher wherever you go including when you were born to the Rupa Jhana hopefully you met the teacher. If you don't met what is the outcome? Enjoy the life because they are just the joy only, the peace only until you forget. You don't want to meditate. Here's the same, Elena, if you give you $3 million, don't meditate, whole world traveling first. It's the same, So that's why the Dewa, especially Jiva. Jiva is a doctor, you know. We want become a deva, you see. So I think in the Mongalana, got people sick, you know. So he'll go to the ram to look for the Jiva. Hey, we got Sangha sick already. Please take a look. Jiva see him, just pay respect and then run already. So he go to catch him. He said, hey, why you just avoid me? He said, ayo, you see all the deva, they are busy enjoying. I pay respect you. It's considered very good already. He said. And then we go to keep on enjoy again, you see. So this is sometimes this is a dilemma. This body create trouble, but the body also make us feel the needs and urge to cultivate. Whereas in Deva, no. Okay. So we just accept the pain and the suffering, accept the pain, no pain, no gain. Okay. Okay, next. It's regards the dependent origination, you see. Here it mentioned that the word transcending is the doctrine for truth and dependent origination. Okay. And here is the explanation of the affliction that bring about the karma. Now, so this is the meaning here, you see. Affliction is here, you see. Affliction is the mental formation, past causes, and bring to the karma, become consciousness. Or here, class, take a look, the craving. Do you see the craving? So the craving, then the cause is what? The cause is the future effect become the birth. So that is the meaning here. Okay. Then let's take a look again. Okay, the true meaning of all things arises interdependent is very profound. Okay. Can you check for me the footnote number 32? It is from the Nikaya or Samyutta 32. Can you check for me? Anyone? Please try to learn to check and try to recognize, remember the sources. So that you can know the primary sources and secondary sources.
师父 is 佛说大圣义经 Sutra of the Great Meaning of Life.
How about the rest? It is correct. Sutra of great meaning of life. Okay. Yeah, correct. Okay. Well, from this sutra, if I'm not mistaken, is once Buddha attained the Buddhahood. So Buddha noticed that, this is the traveling condition. It looks so profound. So I think I better just keep quiet. And then the Brahma comes. Brahma notice, oh no, you shouldn't keep quiet. You should let the people know. But anyway, just now you try to copy the 12th thing. Do you feel it is so profound, difficult? Not that really, right? Not that really. But how come he says so? But I think, if let's say, if let's say Buddha, without telling us, summarize to us the 12th link, we just use our vipassana to check. It's not that easy to come out with this result. I think so. It's not that easy. But here, of course, we know the answer already. So the reader is nothing. The reader no more as a reader. We don't answer already. But if let's say you don't know, I give you the jhana, you go to check. Maybe you hardly to discover all this. This is the important element to link the future life, to link the past life, present life, and the future life. Not that easy. So let's take a look. Why it is so important? I see here mentioned already under the body tray. Explain the limitless continuation of the birth and the death. Class, let's take a look. Actually, you can just see past, present, and the future only. How come they say it's limitless? How come? Okay. Mr. Leong, can you explain why this is limitless, but actually just 3 life only?
Because of the cycle of samsara, that is why it is limitless. If we have what you call craving, becoming of birth and death.
No, my problem is regarding calculation, because we just see past, present, future is 3 only. But according to the text, it is good to explanation for the limitless and countless. How come?
Don't know, sorry.
Don't know. Don't know if that's the case. We ask the analysis, Elena, why? This is the mathematical. I think this is the mathematical problem. Elena, why?
The cycle of birth and death. it keeps rotating if you are not out of the cycle, right?
So that's why 3 is really enough to explain the limitless, all right? Because I say now is a present life, right? So next life, the future one. When we pass away, okay, so the future will become present, and the present will become the past, and then there will be one more future, right? So that's why 3 is really enough, the incalculable and the limitless of life. Okay, so this is okay. Next, let's take a look. You see, we cannot escape this. Then here we say that, and the ignorance causes action, and actions causes consciousness. No, I think we stop here. So we proceed here according to the Buddha teaching. Am I right? Yeah, we should start here. According. Yeah, Kamling, your turn to read, please. According to the Buddha's teaching.
According to the Buddha's teaching of dependent origination, when this exists, that exists. When this arises, that arises. And ignorance causes action, action causes consciousness. And so on top, on up to birth causes aging and death. One should know that the mutual production of cause and effects in the 12 links, ignorance, action, and all the others up to aging and death is the sequence of dependent origination, and that when this exists, that exists. When this arises, that arises. Is the rule of dependent origination. Cause and effect and birth and death are what they are, because when this exists, that exists. When this arises, that arises. Once one understands this, one can delve further into the general nature of the dependent origination of things. Let us pose this question. What is the real meaning of cause and effect? According to the Buddha's discourse on dependent origination, existence does not apply an inherent or permanent existence, but rather one that arises and passes. Therefore, the Buddha's discourse speak of the arising or arising appearance of phenomena. Ultimately, what exists is what appears, and what appears is what exists. How can things exist, and why do they appear? They do so only due to causes and conditions. These causes and conditions also exist and appear. If they did not, they could not become the causes and conditions for the existence and appearance of the effects. Since those causes and conditions are existence and have arisen, they naturally depend on other causes and conditions. If one investigates deeply, one finds that all the events and things in the world, all the cycle of birth and death of sentient beings are formed only through such principles. Where there is a cause, there is an effect. Where a cause appears, an effect appears. Everything depends on causes and conditions and cannot depart from them. Apart from causes and conditions, nothing can exist. What about you?
Okay, never mind. We stop here first. Okay, 3 paragraph. Please highlight the point, please. Okay, finish here. Tama, please, once you finish. Okay, thank you so much. Class, let's take a look, you see. As a Buddhist, basically we understand, oh, there is a mental formation, we create the karma, then we will be the next slide, there will be the consciousness, okay? And same in present life, we have a craving or anger, then we will be having the attachment, then we will have a next life, okay? What happened to the Christian and the Muslim? If they don't use this theory to explain their future life, so what is their theory? SJ?
Back to the Allah and back to the God.
Yes, there's a difference, you see. This is a difference, you see. So meaning to say for them, there's a one hand behind everything to make things happen, and also make the arrangement of everything. And then later on, the consequences also depends on him also. Okay, so some they end up very pessimistic. Even though the gold drop from the sky, they also wouldn't go to collect. They say, oh, is everything depend on the God? Let God collect to me. Some they can go to this extent, you know. But for us, why we are so different with them? The reason is because if you believe this is not the karma all decided by you. You need to say we are the one who decide our next life. See or not? And then what we are experiencing now is always because of the past life, but we forget already. So this is the key point. Sometimes people argue that, oh, past life is a past life issue. I cannot remember why I have to suffer all the consequence. Sometimes people will argue in this way. And yet once people is very rich, they are very wealthy, they are very enjoy, they will never think that, oh, this is the past life effort. This type of people, they wouldn't think about that. So sometimes really need affinity to have by having this type of perception, you really need an affinity. Okay. So this is why in Buddhism we make it so important by knowing the past life and the future life. What's the cost? Then let's see. You see, ignorance causes action, action causes consciousness. So just now you memorize already, ignorance. So basically, class in Buddhism, there is two major elements to turn the wheel, keep on rotate and rotate. Okay. So which two elements is the most important elements?
Ignorance and craving.
Yes, ignorance, the craving. So basically, if the non-Buddhist asks you, so if let's say you don't believe there's a God, is the hand behind. So what is your theory? Your answer: ignorance and the craving. Then if they further ask, what is the ignorance? Basically, very hard to answer already. Don't know how to answer already. Ignorance is ignorance. Very hard to ignorance.
Therefore, because above you have ignorance and craving.
Yeah. Basically, we will use one analogy to explain the ignorance. It's just like ignorance is just like a cave without any light. Once you got the wisdom, you just ignite, trigger a fire, then you will see everything already. Once you are in the ignorance, basically you will start creating the karma. That is the proof. If Arahant, they wouldn't create any karma. So that's why whatever Arahant create is a kriya. Kriya meaning to say some action. It's all the action without any consequences. That is the Arahant. We call it as a kriya. But for us, we call it as a karma because there's a consequence. Okay, so that's a different. So class we can copy down. This is something maybe it's kriya. Kriya is in Abhidhamma. Buddhism. If you type Kriya Yoga, it will provide you other things. You see, the Kriya Yoga, so many. Kriya mantra. Oh, or it's irrelevant. So I have to type the Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma Kriya. Yes, functional Kriya Chitta. They are functional only. No karma. No karma accrued. So please write down. So you write for Arahant only. Kriya. But sometimes we also will create some Kriya Chitta which carry no consequences. So once we study Abhidhamma, we tell you all. But here for the circle, for the viewer, all it's not a Kriya. I mean, for us, we create, they all will have consequences. Maybe next life, some will happen in this life. Yung Sin, if some bad people you met they have a good wife, have a good life, and have a good fortune, how do you see it? Why the cause and effect, it doesn't work so well? How do you see it, Yung Sin?
Lucky, oh.
Lucky, no, it's not the lucky. Okay. Okay. Have you talked to the guy? You are so lucky.你應該好衰至係嘅。
Affinity lah with the woman.
What
Affinity.
Charity?
No, affinity with that person.
Affinity.
Dislike.
Okay, not good enough the explanation. How about Amanda?
So what was the questions again?
The question is, Yung Sin met a bad guy who have a good wife and have a good fortune, have experienced a good life. How come like this?
But he is a bad guy.
Yes, a bad guy.
It has become from his past life lah. He did a good deeds.
How about his bad deeds?
His bad deeds his own personality, his what do you call it? This is his 习气 coming from past life also.
Oh, okay. We have got another explanation is the bad deed haven't ripened yet. Yes. So the good karma or mature first. So we will have some confused. How come the good people? Sometimes also same. The good people all the mishap happened to him, right? We also say we ask the sky. We say heaven. What the hell? How come? All the mishap happen to the good people, or because all the bad karma arise first or ripen first, but all the good one may be coming, especially the guy is the mild type people, they're very mild, they're very kind, or you also will feel so sad with all the mishap happening to him. Okay. So this is how it happen. Yung Sin, we don't use lucky because lucky are more on the monotheism. So more on monotheism. For us, everything got cause and effect. So no such thing as a lucky actually. No such thing. Even you strike the lottery, there must be some karma behind. You strike the lottery, there must be some karma behind. So everything is the karma. So sometimes the ways we use the karma, it's just like a god. You know this or not? Sometimes Buddhism, everything is a karma. Everything's a karma. Or I got a mantra for you. Right? Sometimes we use a lot of mantra until the karma is ignored. Am I right? You see or not? Anything happen? Oh, let's have a mantra chanting. It seems this one can, I think partially can elevate the effect of the karma, but not totally. You still have to experience. If let's say the mantra is good enough, how come Shakyamuni also will hate it, right? Shakyamuni also feel headache, laosai or diarrhea, and also back pain. Why Shakyamuni doesn't chant the mantra to elevate everything? No one, right? So that is sometimes sometimes in Mahayana we overuse the mantra and the Buddha name until we eliminate the effect of karma. So be careful. So once you do the chanting mantra, must consider the cause and effect also. Then we'll be more balanced. Okay, next, let's take a look. Okay, see, these causes and conditions also exist and appear. If they didn't, they could not become the cause and condition for existence and appearance or effect. Or cause and condition also exist and appear. Like just now we mentioned that all the cycle, birth and death of sentient being are formed only through such principle. So this is the principle, this is the circle which form, the cycle of birth and death. Okay, here we learn one thing is that nothing exists by itself forever. You see, from the law, when this exists, that exists, it means what? It means that nothing exists by itself. All depends on the cause and condition. Nothing will exist by itself. Okay, exists through indirectly relating to one another in mutual dependence. They all are mutually independent. You see or not? Okay. Or here you see. Let's take a look. You see. So this is the one. Basically, we mentioned that they are mutually independent. So, for example, yes, you see, the consciousness, right? You see, class, once we have a consciousness, right? Then we start. When does the consciousness start, basically, once the consciousness there, they are waiting for the sperm and the ovum, integrate together. Insemination together. When there's an insemination together, then the consciousness will go in, all right? And then it turn out become, we call it as a what? Zygote, all right? Become a zygote, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and then all the organ coming. So here, from this stage, you see, class, we got the mind and matter, then we come to the six senses. We got the six senses, then we have a contact. Our six senses, so we have a external contact. So meaning to say that everyone is mutually dependent, or they're close to each other. So this is all we call it as an effect. We can't change it. So we can't change it. So sometimes people will see that, oh, it seems all the greedy come from the organ. It begin from the organ. So let's try to destroy it. It is wrong. It's wrong. You shouldn't say, oh, because you're greedy or anger is due to the ear and the eye. Because if even though you destroy it, you still got the mind. Your mind will recall the past or past things, past events to make you create the greedy and anger. Also, you can recall it. So you want to destroy or bring again? So no, that's not the right way to do for the cultivation. See. Okay, next paragraph is this. Following up this profound view, whose turn to read? Elena, yeah, please. Following upon.
Following upon this profound view, one correctly understands that everything is impermanent and has no self. All things that exist and arise are impermanent. Look, the form world is decaying, prosperous countries are declining and failing. Sentient beings are aging and dying. Roughly speaking, things last for at least a limited amount of time. The formation and decay of the world, the birth and death of sentient beings. Apparently, everything goes through a period of stability and then become extinct. But actually, things last for one kasana, an instant. Everything is being born and becoming extinct from moment to moment. As soon as it is born, it perishes. Why do all come into being and become extinct? This is the nature of dependent origination. That which exists from causes and conditions has to rely on causes and conditions. When the conditions disappear, it becomes extinct. All things engendered by causes and conditions, such as the body of sentient beings, are impermanent, unreliable, and in the end lead to extinction. When describing impermanence, the sutras use the terms such as not everlasting, not reliable, not guaranteed, insecure, as well as impermanent.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please highlight the point. Tama, please, once you finish. Okay, thank you. Class, let's take a look. You see, here he say, everything is impermanence, it has non-self. So impermanence meaning to say what? The things keep on changing, keep on changing. And then non-self, because nothing as a self is stable, which is won't change one. So things keep on changing, and then it demonstrates non-self, meaning to say we can't control over it. Okay. So here is very obvious. We are getting old and old. If you take a look to the mirror, even though maybe if you compare now, today and tomorrow, not obvious. Okay. But if you compare 3 months before and now, it's very obvious. Okay. So the peace in the Europe no more. Now the war occur. All right. Okay. And then especially in share market keep on fluctuating. Then inflation. You see, it means what? It means impermanence. The things won't always come one. It's keep on changing. From external to internal. So in internal, class, you see, this is the Sanskrit. If you go to check, the last moment, we call it as sana. Sana. So in Mandarin, na. So this is the Sanskrit word. It enriched the vocabulary of the Mandarin. So in Mandarin we say na. So actually it's come from this sana. So sana. One single thought, one single moment only. So if you go to check, you can trace back that actually from every single moment, every instant, the things keep on changing already. If you go to check until to that particular small microscopic. Okay, he said, why everything will go to extinct? Because the nature of dependent origination. Plus the definition of dependent origination, meaning to say that nothing will exist by itself. There must be a cause and condition. When the condition gone, then the situation change. So the peace, once, you see why there's a war there? Because Russia tried to invoke the war to them. Okay, so meaning to say that maybe there's some change in the administration. So they don't want the peace anymore. They want the place already. So you see, meaning to say there must be something change to make things keep on changing. Then next, let's take a look. We see. So when the condition disappeared, it become extinct. So for us, we also use it to describe our situation. Once we have ignorance, then we keep on reincarnating. By remove the ignorance, there will be no more reincarnation. So the point is, how should we remove ignorance and the craving? So they are the two things. But you notice that this is so difficult because the dinner is coming. Now maybe your brain is thinking, what to eat in the dinner? We should enjoy the best food, right? Not okay. You notice that this is the toughest part. Okay, when describing the impermanent sutra, I use the term not everlasting, not reliable, not guarantee, non-permanence. A class, this is very good to pacify to the people, especially they cannot accept the facts, cannot accept the truth. Ilana, can you pacify your customer that impermanence share will up and down one don't cry? Can you say like that, Elena? Possible? They drop your head. See, meaning to say, not everybody is going to accept the impermanence, but accept Buddhists. Of course, one people very sad. Don't go to say, oh, impermanence, no, because they are very sad. Let the depression gone, then you talk. The best one is, you learn the impermanence before the impermanence arrive, correct? You should learn it before it arrives. Once it arrives already, you no mood to listen already. Okay. So especially the share market, you see or not? Drop your head if you talk about impermanence. Just can earn only. They just allow profit. They don't allow loss. You see. Okay, so